Gives a good. It's like a kids party, but like Satanist kids party. So I think it's like a kind of like it has that teenage god vibe we're going to talk about.
Yeah, this teenager is making the crowd participate, like telling. He asks them to tell, let's say, 8 people, and it's pretty funny, and it's a bit of kind of stuff we could do also. So yeah, it's a good example of inspiration we got. And, yeah.
So
that's 1996.
Seems so, yeah.
Yeah, old school.
26 years ago.
Yeah.
Good color. From the 90s. That's cool.
Yes.
Is this a hearse or is this
A what?
Is it a hearse or is it a wagon?
Hearse, what?
Car, is this a hearse?
Ah, est-ce qu'il y a une voiture mortuaire?
I don't think so. No, I think it's like a van or something like that. Surfer van.
So this project, as a performance project, it's me and Félix. We started it together, just the two of us at the beginning, in 2018. And before that, it was a film project. Teenage God was a film project.
Armando, you are from San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yes, you are American in Paris.
Yeah.
That's a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very American-inspired project, for sure, yeah. I'm from San Francisco, and my parents were like, from the 60s hippie generation, so the whole, there's a whole new age vibe, and the pop culture references are very American, yeah, in the project. Because the project started out as this, it's a screenplay, basically, I wrote. And it's a teen thriller. It's a teen thriller about a young girl, a young teenage girl, like prepubescent or about pubescent or whatever, and she's a fan of like a Justin Bieber type singer, and she unwittingly becomes the god of a cult. So the framework of this story is really like, you guys know the... The Man Who Would Be King. It's the novella by Rudyard Kipling. It's a novella that it's about these two guys, these two colonial soldiers, these adventurers who sell their services as mercenaries to like warlords in Afghanistan, and one of them during a battle is shot with an arrow, but he survives because he has this a Freemason medallion. And that stops the arrow, and the local people suddenly believe that he's a god. So he becomes a king god. And so I don't know if you've seen the film or if you've read the book. It's a classic. The novella is a classic novel. The structure of the story is a bit the same, and it's got that same kind of. There's this framework of a satire and the godlike complex that you also have in Heart of Darkness. By Joseph Conrad, and the adaptations that were made of that. Yeah. So that's the whole idea of becoming a god is like a really an important part of the project. And so the whole framework, the narrative framework, is based on these references a lot. Yeah. I guess everybody knows this, right? Yeah.
Well, I've never seen the film.
You read the novella?
Yeah, I'm familiar with this the music.
So in the same way that The Man Who Would Be King, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how much, but it's for sure in Heart of Darkness, it's a kind of critique of colonialism and a critique of racism. So our project it also has this kind of like there's this articulation of a critique of religion and of pop culture through these by putting them the mirroring of both. And so because this is like you know.
And how fucking dare anyone out there make fun of Britney after all she's been
So
through?
this project was really like based on the idea of the interest in fans, you know, in like their culture as like.
Kids, her husband turned out to be a user, a cheater, and now she's going through a constant.
Like being interested in fans and as a collective and as a collective force, and the idea of talking about groups. So of like how, because I'm really interested in how people as collectively can be together and be a creative force together. So using fans as a basis for this, as a basis for understanding and exploring how we can like be creative collectively together is one of the elements of the project, of really using this and mirroring it with cults. So using a kind of dialectic where we're going back and forth all the time in between fan culture and religious culture. So a lot of the influences in the project for like, and if you got questions or anything, just stop me. You know, as I said, you don't have to like, what? This is a Britney Spears fans because a lot of the project is really based on like supermarket pop, like really teenage girls, like prepubescent American teenage girls, the kind of music they would listen to, not like adults, not like adult music, but like kids music.
Where does this come from?
Oh, this video. This is a fan, Britney Spears fan, like going crazy over like ranting and complaining about how.
It's a real.
This is a real person. Yeah, it's a real person.
It's a real super.
This is not a. This is not. Yeah.
Okay, so that,
The project is both inspired by literary sources, artistic sources, and by also real life, you know, and real sources. And that's part
Are
of.
you allowed to take this? Does this woman know this? Did you use it her?
Well, I'm just using this in the presentation. I mean, I don't know if you think there's a problem with copyright there or something.
I was wondering.
These videos are all on YouTube. I don't know, you know. I don't know. Maybe we should get cleared by some accountant or something. I don't know. So, yeah. So this type. I don't know if we're allowed to use this one either. But this is really, and that's one of the themes also. There's several themes. It's like a multi-layered. There's multi-layered themes, but it's the idea of like using like the lowest type of culture, kind of like, you know, and because I mean that's one of the basic. Of course, I mean it's not very original. This idea in modernism that you want to explore the idea of like you know, the contrast between high and low art as being some sort of illusion, you know. So that's one of the aspects of the project. It's trying to explore this type of culture, basically.
Why not the Beatles?
Why not the Beatles? No, it could be the Beatles also, I guess. You know, it's just it started with the film. The film was kind of limited to a certain more contemporary era, but within the performance, it can take it's a broader spectrum. Of course, yeah. I'm just trying to give you the starting point of how it all started, in a sense. I don't know how interesting it is, but you know.
But are these particular references important for you, or is it just random stuff?
Oh no, this is important for me. Yeah, this is really the when I wrote the film, I had really these types of images and these types of situations in mind. You know, Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like the particular reference, like Agnieszka mentioned, the Beatles. This could be something.
Yeah, it could be,
else.
but I wanted something that was more contemporary. It was more like it was happening now, you know. But this is the same. It's more or less the same thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's not like a new phenomenon, a completely new phenomenon. Yeah.
But, is it an illustration to your idea, or is it like Justin Bieber and believers are important for you?
Well, we use it. We use it a lot in the performance, as you'll see. I mean, I don't know if you're going to go see the performance, but we use a lot of these elements in the performance. You'll more or less be aware of it because we transform it. You know, and the whole idea is that these are different stages within the project. This is just one aspect. It's not like we're not just focused on this. The whole idea is always some sort of dialectical relationship between different things.
On baisse le son avant de la lancer.
Are
Ah ouais.
fans reacting to Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So this is really the whole project is this mirroring in between the whole world of like teenage fans and also I think maybe also one of the reasons we're not using the Beatles is the Beatles has become they still did manage to produce like high quality music supposedly, whereas Justin Bieber is considered like, you know, just garbage, you know. So I was really interested in this idea also of using this garbage music, you know. I mean, it's one of the ideas.
Supermarket music.
Yeah, and so there's three cults which are really inspirations to the project. And so one of them, I don't know if you've heard of this one, is the Rajneeshis or Osho cult. So he was like this Hindu guru that went to America and created this commune, and this whole mindfuck happened. And he created this type of, it's called the dynamic meditation. And the whole aesthetic of this cult and the whole approach interested us because it mirrors also a certain type of performance art, because this whole project is really based on rituals in religion, but also in art, and especially in performance art. Performance art is full of rituals, and especially classic performance art. Marina Abramovic, Herman Nietzsche, Joseph Beuys. These are all, and so these cults are really a great inspiration because they were happening more or less at the same time, and they kind of manifest aesthetic similarities to the approaches of the artists of the same era. So another cult which is really influential in the project is Heaven's Gate. So Heaven's Gate, they were this cult that like mixed extraterrestrial fantasies with Christian ideology, and they were a very tight-knit group, and they committed collective suicide because they thought when the Halley comet was going above the sky, they thought it was a spaceship that was coming, and that they could take them to the kingdom of heaven. So committing suicide was just a way of going to that.
To leave planet Earth.
Yeah.
Quite notorious in Poland as well.
I mean, all the cults I'm inspired to are really, but for people who don't know, I'll give an explanation. I mean, unless you all know what I'm talking about, but.
This is like 50 years ago or longer, right?
Yeah, it's not that long ago, yeah. This one.
It
So,
was somewhere in South America.
No, this is American. This is from the United States.
This happened recently again?
This is in the 90s.
In the 90s, right?
I mean, there's the three cults I'm going to show are like the main inspirations, but we've been documenting. We were inspired by lots of cults. I mean, most cults have more or less similar. I mean, the infamous cults all have like similar structures and similar. I mean, collective suicide, slavery in some form. They're all parts of religious cults, basically. So these elements are really the elements we're trying to explore in this performance. Ah oui, non, mais j'avais pas mis... Ah oui, c'est vrai. C'est vrai. So the other one that's really a big influence is the Om cult in Japan, which is this cult. They did terrorist attacks in the Japanese subway with nerve gas agents in the 90s. And voilà quoi. So these are three of the big cults that are really used as inspirations to make the performance. So, as I was saying, this is all like in the idea of also exploring classic, traditional performance art, and you know, so we're like using fans, cult, religion, to, in a sense, also reference and create some interplay with like all the, you know, the famous performance art that maybe most of you know. Like, you know, I mean, I guess everybody knows Marina Abramovic here. Yeah. Mm. Or Herman Mitch or whatever. So, whatever. So, can keep on. And one of the, also, I guess, big influences of this project would be Kenneth Anger. You know, everybody knows Kenneth Anger also.
When these kinds of ideas and Anger himself, these were explored by some artists from industrial culture. They are quite, like, in Europe they are more familiar than some of other influences you mentioned. So, yeah. Like transmissions, Schrödinger's.
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that because I think that's really like our project really has its general form is really close to Throbbing Gristle and Psychic TV, of course. Yeah, that's like the actual. I think the end effect really is a similar, and we're really inspired by of course Throbbing Gristle. And, But I think they were probably inspired by Kenneth Anger. You know, he's a big influence. The whole idea of pop culture and religion, this mixing, he was like one of the first to really do that in a strong, very strong way. Like mix mysticism and pop culture, yeah.
Non, ça on l'a vu déjà.
The Holy Mountain?
Ouais, on l'a.
No?
Ah ouais, non, excuse-moi.
Huh?
The Holy Mountain, one of the best movies ever.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot because this film is a film project to begin with. So that's really one of the major influences is this film. It's a series of rituals basically, and our performance is just that. It's just a series of rituals basically. So as I was saying, more performance art, you know, like, the whole idea in Teenage God is it's a postmodernism take on this, of course. So we accept that we're like, you know, in an era of postmodernism, and we're not trying to make, you know, it's not that it's a satire in a sense, also of performance art. All right, well, you said it, you know. Well, we could just pass that, I guess. And then, well, I can show you some things from Teenage God you may be seen already, or we can, if you have some more questions about the project, because I think I've said basically the basics, no, about it. Mm.
Oh, the title.
Yeah, it's all in the title. Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because like you are kind of trying to create this like high-level view on the direction of culture. Where kind of you look at the teenage fans and how it connects with the cults and how it is kind of in this game with high art. But I wanted to ask, how do you feel your place in this kind of effect in the last 10 years, where people who grew up with Britney Spears, people like the person from Britney alone, they are now 30 and they make their own music, and they very often create something that's kind of a high art built on the canons from those pop stars they listened to in their teenagehood. Like, I'm talking about Arca, Sophie, people like that.
Yeah.
How do you see yourself in that?
Well, I mean, the whole idea is that this questioning the boundaries in between high and low art. So we completely feel like an adequation with the Arca or Sophie or that type of you'll see. I mean, if you go see the performance and you hear the music we make, it's not like it's a rapport of irony and satire. So the ambiguity of satire and irony, and I think what you have in Sophie, especially, Yeah, exactly.
It's like there's irony and appreciation at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So the ambiguity of because the examples of like of fans and cults are kind of dystopian but at the same time there's still this pull towards some sort of like there's the pulling out of the the mundanity of everyday life and some sort of like pull towards something else. There's a kind of a striving, which is interesting, which in a sense is inspirational.
Yeah. And there's this part where pretty much any origin musically can lead to something great when it's...
Yeah, well, as I said, this project embraces postmodernism, so it's not like yeah. Cool. So, I don't know, we can, any other questions, or? Also, maybe I can talk about how we organize ourselves. So the whole idea of Teenage God is sort of collective. So we started just me and him, then like people just join, like maybe you guys joined today, I don't know. And so it's like the more the better, and it's really, I mean, although there's always a limit to that idea of horizontal organization, and this idea of like it's like I'm doing the conference, Armando Navarro, but it's like I don't consider myself as the director of Teenage God, really. It's more like I want to collaborate with different people, and it's not, and be equals with the people I'm collaborating with, not necessarily. Although always forms of dissymmetry will happen, but the idea of kind of there's this horizon of horizontality, and in a sense, we're working on presenting ourselves almost as a cult. So we haven't really managed to do it completely, but hopefully we can really get at that. Working on the ambiguity of like the authorship, and as you'll see during the performance, one of the ideas which is really important, which at least I push a lot, is the idea of public participation. So I mean, cults, fans, this is all collective groups doing in a process of doing things, and I'm interested in bringing performances which are like where the public isn't like a passive spectator, which is also like one parts of the, I mean I didn't go through all the influences of course in this performance, but it was obviously also inspired a lot by situationist détournement and the whole idea of criticizing the idea of the passive spectator.
What's the name?
What?
What's the name that you just said?
Situationist détournement. Situationist, a group of. It's a group of.
I will get him there.
I just asked.
Okay, cool.
Slower if that's possible.
I'm sorry, yeah. Fast American talker, yeah.
You mentioned critique in several different contexts. Is there some end goal or some where do you want to get to with this critique?
Well, I think really the end goal is the work in itself and the here and now of the work. It's not like there's not like no. So the end goal is what you'll experience during the performance, hopefully.
But do you think passive audience is worse than active audience?
I'm not like it's not like I'm not like I mean, I don't like really the idea of giving a conference and like explaining this in a sense. And it's like I'm not like an ideologue. I'm not interested in actually this type of discourse. I'm interested in the making of things, and I'm just attracted to that type of thing in a sense. I mean, it was influenced by these forms of criticism, but we don't actually produce this type of critical text. It's not like our thing.
We just want to have fun, with you and everyone who wants, I guess.
There was a time I was really thinking that interaction between people is the best way we can actually communicate, and it was for quite a long time, but then I dropped that idea. I felt like it doesn't have to happen in the time of the performance, because quite often much more interesting is just to be passive and then to talk about this for hours. You can do it. That's fun like that.
Well, as you'll see, hopefully, as you'll see during the performance, the performance is not made to create like a, so for you to embrace it. It creates hopefully a kind of a love-hate relationship, and because it's on purpose, it's not like it's gonna be it's gonna create like contradictory emotions hopefully in you, that you can't really resolve.
When you say love-hate, when there is this hate component, are you okay with that? That you
yeah, I think it's
people to hate you.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, it depends what kind of hate. I don't want to be killed, but.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
But I think when you want audience participation, and also in the way we collaborate together, the idea is to accept the other and to integrate the other, and not being some sort of like, you do what I say, Although, I mean, the performance, in a sense, is a mise en scène of that, mise en scène of the do as I say,
Because I'm asking because there is this aspect also in some of your inspirations, that some of those artists just wanted to fuck with people, and that's not entirely nice of them, and sometimes their motivations were also not all that great.
Yeah, well, maybe you think our motivations aren't that great too. I don't know.
In cults as well. Yeah?
In what?
In cults, in different cults.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Like people are getting fucked with, but they are like abused.
Yeah, but so far I think we're a failed cult, but hopefully we can get there at some point.
Not likely, but, yeah.
We're a real bad cult, but we're working on it.
Well, if you're a bad cult, maybe you're a good cult.
Yeah. I guess.
You want people to reflect about that situation, what happens within the cult context and everyday life?
I want many things. I mean, I think I'm interested in creating like complex networks and complex levels of understanding, and I find an artwork to be really interesting when it like resonates on very different levels, you know. So intellectual, critical, but also like even kinetic, you know, all kinds of levels. I want people to be like taken on all kinds of levels, like on very primitive levels and very evolved levels. I find that to me that's what interests me the most.
C'est quoi le mot de passe
Hein?
C'est quoi déjà le...
Supercap 69.
Cap.
Avec un S majuscule. Tu veux mettre quoi?
Non, je sais pas, c'est parce que c'était mis en veille.
Ah. Well, if you want, has everyone seen this video? We can. Tu veux mettre cette vidéo? This is a kind of music video we made, I guess. It's kind of typical of what you're going to see performance-wise tonight. We're going to spoiling the evening for you.
Ça
bah, peut-être on va arrêter là. Peut-être you have some questions. Yeah.
So, but general, what reaction? Because I think that we are visiting different places.
Yeah.
Also different. Well, part of your shows are outside, yeah, on the street, as I as I found out.
Anywhere, kind
Yeah,
of.
yeah, I know, but then there's a difference between the public space and the internal, even the part of our discussion, you know, what would be possible outside, what is inside. So that's why quite interesting, what kind of extreme results you got.
Well, it's super extreme, but we're really interested in playing anywhere, and anyhow, and in any way. And the whole idea is making this project, which is the identity is as ambiguous as possible. So, is this art? Is this a cult? Is this fashion? Is this a concert? Is this whatever? Not caring about that, and not caring about the format, not caring about so many things, And
so direct question: have you tried to do it in the church, for example?
Have we? No.
Not yet. We played in front of a church, actually. I mean, we were during this performance in Germany.
Oh, yeah.
We were doing a parade because it was in 2020, and they would not allow us to play in a fixed point. We had to walk all the time, and so we were doing a parade in the street. And sometimes we stopped by church and spray the floor with satanistic symbols and shit like this. And but not yet in a church. But it's gonna come at some point for sure. It's gonna arrive.
And you mentioned that you are aiming towards a love-hate relationship with the audience and reactions like that. Do you ever get whatever reaction?
Well, you get everything, I guess. But but I mean, I think most art gets whatever reactions. That's the easiest reaction to have, But we do get some people who are, think we're going too far or something.
Yeah, most of the time the people they don't upload at the end, and they don't know if the performance is finished or it's gonna continue or stuff like that. They just it's weird sometimes, but it depends of what we do and where we play. Also, we played in a kebab shop, for example, a few times, and
Because it
squat.
does sound a bit random, like what you're taking, what you do with it, and how you do it, and the way you're describing it.
Like random, like what? What do you mean by random?
Random, like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is to be very flexible and not care about the specific format. We're not trying to make theater like this perfect piece of theater,
Yeah, but that's so most of them they know what would happen in general, Yeah. I know that I invited teenage girls, so I know what does it mean. But the question is whether whether you have this kind of experiences that you are coming to the place which is not ready, in fact, not expecting you. Just
I think so. It happens. It happens, and I think
that's more interesting. I think.
That is interesting. I like that idea of not just being around people who you just of course see a million times. And also the idea that it was just inspired by teenagers, but also making things with teenagers for teenagers. I think it's cool also to not just for a public of adults.
Do you perform a lot?
I guess I don't know, not every day, hopefully, but So this is Louise. You see our.
Yeah, seeing you sleeping.
We try to adapt ourselves to the space and the people who host us most of the time, and sometimes maybe there's some bad surprise, but we always find a solution and a good compromise, and we have lots.
To play with mistakes, and
also.
If there is a problem with sounds, it could be interesting to continue to sing or to make noise with the space. And
we like to use the limits we get, and find different ways of finding new stuff to play and new stuff to do in the performances is always cool. We don't like to play the exact same thing every time. There's of course some stuff we replay because it's working well, and it's hard to have like 20 new ideas every time, but like we like to renew a lot of stuff. And also the music.
We have to have a perfect concept.
Yeah.
Because we have ideas and we play with it like je sais pas, c'est a square, and we can improvise.
Yeah, we give a lot of space to improvisation too.
Yeah, we've been talking that you are doing what is available, but then I ask you how you do with something which is not available. That would be quite interesting, you know, to go behind some limit. That's really the deal and challenge also.
But we're always trying to push ourselves beyond our limits, I think.
And then you try to break it. That's another story.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying to push ourselves beyond our limits. I mean, that's one of the things is that we don't want to. We're always way too ambitious, you know.
So what about strobo?
Strobo what?
Stroboscope?
We've been talking about
Strobe light.
Strobo light.
Yeah.
Strobe light.
Outside or inside?
But both.
Both, okay.
Too much. Everywhere. That's our philosophy.
Ja zapowiem, ja uprzedzę, że możliwości as we szkolisz, to mamy ograniczenia i limity. No i tutaj właśnie jest też ten punkt, który łatwo przekroczyć, rozumiecie Państwo? To nie chodzi o to, że ja się boję jako organizator, tylko zostało to przedyskutowane na różne sposoby. I'm very interested.
Cool. Well, I'm happy. Well, you invited us, so you better be. So tonight we're not going to do a lot of work based on selfie sticks, but we've been developing a lot of stuff based on selfie sticks. Yeah. I mean, you're going to see a bit of it, but it's not going to be as developed as usual. Mais ça spoil un peu toute la performance, là. Ouais, peut-être non.
Ça va, c'est pas avec moi.
Ah ouais. But we're spoiling maybe a little too much the performance. You don't see too much images now. You'll be bored already.
You have any more questions?
More questions?
After.
Yes, sure.
We're not doing the conference after. No.
Do you like to talk about your work at all?
Not really, no. So, is that it? Not in such a formal setting, you know.
Sure.
I prefer informal settings.
There is beer, it's not so bad.
What?
There is beer, it's not so bad.
The what?
You have beers.
Oh.
Everyone should.
Yeah, everyone should have
So
beer.
what's that? Because you brought something here.
Oh,
Can
it's
we use it or?
yeah, well, he can. You wanted that? You wanted that? We're still spoiling the performance. As we were preparing this, thanks to you, Marek. This technology.
Well, not with my backpack.
This technology that you helped us.
Yeah.
You want to show us a bit how it works? I know. Are you saving yourself for the performance?
Yeah, it's something.
He's gonna perform. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're just connected. I can't work at a skateboard, but connected these.
Contact microphones.
Yeah, to the skateboard. So there'll be a sequence. You'll see. Maybe we need to charge it. Is it like both? Okay. So you'll be seeing a bit of that tonight, basically.
No właśnie. Konrad, ty jeździsz na deskorolce.
Kto jeździ tutaj na deskorolce?
Tamit.
No ja jeździłem przez miesiąc mniej więcej.
O, a umiesz jeździć do przodu?
No wystarczy, nie?
No to pomożesz. Potrzebujemy.
Mam ubezpieczenia, nie.
Ja też nie. O Boże, tak, nie wiem.
I want to try skateboard because
Go ahead.
I don't have insurance.
But maybe
No.
you don't want to, or you do.
I don't want to, thank you.
You don't have to do like enormous movements. You can just do like small things, you know.
I want to stand on it.
Nobody knows how to skateboard here, apart from you. Okay, nobody.
So I think that we're talking about subject. 15 minutes lecture, meeting, presentation. We have something. We don't need to wait to the concert.
Yeah, we can go for a coffee. Sure.
So thank you a lot. I think that
Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for coming to the performance, and thank you for participating in the performance. Yeah.
there are three programs. So around 8 o'clock we should. Perhaps it will be a little bit earlier because the second concert is not really defined in time. The first one is just pieces, so we know how long it will be. But the second one is variable. It's open.
Okay.